What's up, guys? It's your girl Amanda. It's been forever, but I'm back with another video better than ever. Stay tuned. Stop making me laugh, please. Okay, guys, so look, it's been a minute. It's been a long minute. And I really feel like I've robbed you guys of the opportunity to be able to experience my journey with me, and also for me to be able to follow you guys throughout y'all's journey. So I apologize for that. I was looking back at my videos not too long ago, just small clips of them, and I'm like, man, do you know how many other women or even men that I could have reached if I continued my videos throughout nursing school and even after? What the hell? Why did I stop doing that? So I started thinking, and I really was in deep thought about what is missing in my life. And that's kind of when YouTube came back up, and it was like, you know what? That's what's missing. The communication that I had with you guys, that's what's missing. I used to always receive so many messages on Instagram and Facebook from you guys, and I loved it. I loved engaging with you guys. I feel like it benefited both me and y'all. So I am back like I never left. But you know, my goal is to just continue to make videos, not make this like a one-time thing. So anyway, the purpose of this video really is to tell you guys about my journey after nursing school. What do you do after nursing school? And I felt like this would be the perfect video for me to do because I'm just now getting back on my YouTube channel. I'm just now engaging with you guys again after a while. So why not tell you guys what I've been doing since not talking to you? And I know, to be honest, I don't even remember what's exactly is on the last video I made, but for you guys who do not know, I graduated nursing school May of 2016, so over 2 years, y'all. Over 2 years. I'm just like, what? It doesn't even seem like that, but I've come a long way already, and I've had so many different nursing jobs already where I just feel like, you know, it's best for me to let you guys know where I was and where I am now. That way you guys understand that with nursing, it's limitless. Like, you can do so much. You should never get bored. You should never hate your job because there's just so many options. So when I graduated nursing school, I was working at a hospital already as a tech. And so it was a really easy transition for me because I literally was already working at the hospital, and I just went from being a tech to a nurse. And I know in my old videos, I've always recommended that you guys find a job in a hospital. That way your transition is easier when you do graduate nursing school. So I went into the nursing field there, and I started on the cardiac step-down unit, hence my tat. You dig it? I am officially a thug. So yeah, I started there on the cardiac step-down floor. I was there for 2 years, and I absolutely loved it. I loved the people that I worked with. I loved my patients. Geriatrics is my first love. I love my older people. And I just feel like the hospital in general is awesome, a great base for you to start. To be honest, in your first year of nursing, you really need to get experience somewhere where you can learn a lot of things on the medical side rather than just like book work or like lab. You really need to experience that. And so I always recommend that your first nursing job is actually in a hospital setting, somewhere where you're, you know, taking a patient load, you're starting IVs, you're doing catheters, you're doing CPR, things of that sort, just because I really feel like it's important to gain those skills in the beginning. Again, nursing can take you to so many places that, you know, you may end up getting a nursing job in the future where you may not utilize skills that you were in the hospital. And so again, it's always important to set that your ground, you know, at a high standard, which is in a hospital position where you will probably learn the most as far as skills that you need to learn. So for me, again, that's what I did. And, you know, I love the hospital. To be honest, your goals tend to change as a nurse. Like when I was on the cardiac step-down floor, honestly, my goal was to go either to like a CV ICU or ICU setting, which in the future I may still do that, but things quickly changed. I had realized that while being in the hospital, I got my hair kind of messed up, but y'all know I come to y'all as real as I can. But anyway, I forgot what I was saying.
Bruh.
That's right. Your goals tend to change. And so, although my original plan was to go to an ICU, things changed. And when I was in the hospital for those 2 years, y'all know me, I love my money, honey. You got to make that bread. And so, I would always have like a second job. So, my first side job was home health. And I did that for about 6 to 8 months. And with home health, basically, you are in your own car. You basically get a tablet. They give you like 2 boxes of supplies that you keep in your trunk, and you're literally going to see patients in their own homes. And usually these are patients who literally just got discharged from the hospital, from rehab. Some patients who left the hospital and didn't really feel like they needed rehab, so they got home health instead, where a nurse and a physical therapist will come and see them. Some are, you know, wounds that have developed that need 3 times a week care, that need to be done by a nurse, so they'll get home health. Different reasons as to why someone has home health. If someone has a PICC line for like long-term antibiotics or medications, then a nurse would come to change that dressing. And so with home health, you were doing a lot of wound care, dressing changes, assessments, things of that sort. You were going through their medications, making sure those were correct and make sure they're taking them appropriately, things of that sort. So honestly, I really loved that job. And the reason I loved it is because you can make your own schedule. So if I had my kids and I needed to get them ready or whatever, I could, I didn't have to start my day till like 10 a.m. I could go to Starbucks. I could, you know, do whatever I needed to do. Or if I wanted to go in early, I could go in at 6 a.m. because, you know, old people love to get up early, so that's never a problem. So I would go in at like 6 a.m. and then I'd finish by 2. So that was the awesome part of home health. Again, another thing too is like with your patients in the hospital, building a relationship in the hospital is totally different than building a relationship with them in the comfort of their own home. They feel more comfortable. You can just tell that the vibe is totally different. So I felt like with home health, I was able to actually see that patient for who they truly were. And I was able to incorporate the medical side and aspect of things that they need into their actually daily life. And I really liked that. It was more personable. It was more relationship building, things of that sort. Because what you'll learn is a lot of the patients that you see home health wise, you're seeing them on a weekly basis. Once you see that patient, and especially if they're really comfortable with you, they're going to request that you're their nurse until they're done with home health. And so these are patients that you probably see more than once. So you would go see that patient. Now, if it was a new admission, then that charting takes longer, way longer, like long. it takes longer to chart. And so I would find myself coming home and I would be charting till like 1 a.m. on this patient. And you don't just see one patient a day, you see about 4 to 8. So that's a long time for each patient to be charting on. Now, again, new assessments, new patients take longer than like patients that you're already seeing. But for me, it just became too much. That was my part-time job. And so not only do I have to go to my full-time job, but I also have to take care of my husband and my kids. And that charting was just not working out for me. And so although I really love that job, and I may in the future even go back to it, I just felt like at that point in my life, that wasn't what I needed. And so again, that was my part-time job. So that whole time I was still at the hospital. I ended up quitting that job, and then I went into private duty nursing as my second job. Now with private duty nursing, it's a little bit different, because with private duty nursing, it's almost like babysitting. You're actually seeing one patient for that one day, and it's an 8 or 12 or however many hour shift they create for you. It was pediatrics, and that was the first time I'd ever dealt with pediatrics. Y'all know me. Again, I love my old people, but I really enjoyed it. The reason that job did not work out for me is because, again, I felt like I was babysitting, and I felt like I wasn't being a nurse. I have my own children, and as much as I loved the child that I was assigned to, she was amazing, I just felt like I wasn't able to utilize my nursing skills, and I felt that I wasn't being a nurse. And so I only was there for about 3 months, and then I decided to let that go. Pew. And so after that, I ended up on Indeed, because if you know me, you know I look up jobs even when I'm not looking for a job. That's just how I am. So I would be on Indeed all the time, just scrolling at the nursing jobs, the income that each job was bringing in, things of that sort. And I saw this job for a PRN school nurse. Now, I never in a million years would have thought that would be where my journey led me to, but something told me to go ahead and apply for it. When I applied for it, I didn't get a call back, I didn't get anything, but I couldn't for some reason stop thinking about it. And to me, that's a sign that something is calling me without calling me. You know what I mean? So I ended up, I'm sorry, y'all, I keep looking out my window. That's why I keep looking away. I promise I'm not crazy. It's nobody here but the dogs. Okay, so anyway. So I ended up going on the county website where I live to see if they had any school nurse positions, just because it wouldn't leave my mind. I don't know why. And they did. So I applied, and lo and behold, they called your girl back, baby, with a quickness. And so when they called me back, I wasn't surprised, because to be honest, your girl gets any job I apply for. I don't know what it is, and you know, I'll make a video about that in the near future about applying for jobs. But honestly, I sell myself. Like, I am just girl, let me tell you, like, I really sell myself. So anyway, I went in for the interview, and of course, obviously nailed it, and I got the job. So that was in April of this year, 2018. When I started PRN school nursing, I realized that it was a whole nother ball game. Like, I've never worked a nursing shift that was 7 hours. 7 hours. But that day, honey, I got off. It was so early. I still was able to go to the grocery store, come home, do laundry, feed my kids, feed my husband, give them a bath, give me a bath, watch a show or two. Shoot, I was able to do a lot of things. And I'm like, where they do that at? Like, where did that, like, what? I'm a nurse and I could do this. So it became like this thing to where it was just an as needed job, and I looked into making it become a full-time position, just because at that time I just felt like it was what was best for me and my family. And this is the thing with nursing. I think that nursing is one of those things, it's almost like a relationship. Like, you may go into a nursing job absolutely loving it, and then you may just get drained. And sometimes it's time to move on, and that's okay. That's the great part of nursing. You can move on easily. When I tell you, once you become a nurse and you get that 1 year of experience in a hospital, you're gonna get any job just like this, literally any job. And so, you know, Another thing with the school nurse that I found out was, I've always, when I was little, I used to always go to the school nurse because I would want to go home for no reason. And I used to always, when I was little, I used to always be like, man, that's a cool job. That's a real cool job. But I never, after, being in elementary school, I never really thought about it. In high school, you don't really go see the school nurse. I mean, unless you need to, but I didn't know what it was going to entail. I didn't want to be bored or anything like that. So I went into it with an open mind. And to be honest with you, it is totally opposite than what I thought. So if you're looking into school nursing, being a school nurse, honey, you'll probably love it. It is amazing, y'all. And let me, side note here, you don't make a lot of money. However, y'all know I keep 2 jobs, so I have another one on the side. But it is very rewarding. I work with high school kids, and when I tell you that there is a need for support and professional guidance, if for lack of words, in high schools. These kids suffer through so many things that we don't really talk about. These high school kids suffer from depression, anxiety. They have panic attacks. They have medical disorders that hinder them, seizures, ADD, ADHD. There is so much going on in the high schools that really, really, really need a mentor. They really need a mentor. And what I found that these schools are lacking is that mentorship that kids should have. And so with me, I'm only 26 years old, and I feel like this was the perfect time for me to go into a school nurse role because, if you look around and you look at your school nurse, a lot of times they're a bit older, and that's not to say anything negative, but it's just like these kids really